How many times have you found yourself on a beautiful afternoon with a couple of extra hours and you think, I want to go for a hike? Then it dawns on you, you don't have any of your gear with you. So you've got to run home first of all, pack your bag, then head back out to the trailhead. Then you realize you don't have nearly as much time as you originally thought you did. So at the end of the day, you end up skipping that hike with the hopes that tomorrow is going to have another opportunity. Well, I've got some sad news for you folks. There is never as much time tomorrow as there was today, which means you need to be ready to go and prepared. That way, when adventure knocks on your door, you're ready to answer it. I spend a lot of my time on the road for work, which means I get to see a lot of beautiful scenery out the car window. And for years, I used to sit there in traffic, daydreaming about how awesome it would be if I just got out of traffic, pulled over to the side of the road, and went for a walk instead. And then one day, about 2 years ago, it dawned on me, why don't I do that? So that's exactly what I did. I pulled over to the side of the road, I grabbed what I had in the back of my car, and I went for an amazing walk. And since that day, I've always ensured that I have a backpack packed and ready to go for those small but incredibly important moments when adventure strikes and you've got nothing but a few minutes on your hands. So folks, we're going to tackle that today. I'm going to help you build out the perfect adventure kit. And this is what you need to keep packed, ready to go for the next adventure, whether big or small. It's going to have all the essential items you need in it for an afternoon on the trail or maybe a bigger adventure. First up, let's talk about the pack itself. Now, remember, we're talking about day hikes or long afternoon hikes, not overnight adventures. So what I found the perfect size pack for an afternoon hike or a full day hike is either an 18 or a 20 liter pack. This is the Big Agnes Impassable 20, and I found this to be the perfect size day pack for just about any adventure. Now, unfortunately, the folks at Big Agnes have discontinued this bag, but they do have a 32 ounce bag that is another amazing pack, a little bit bigger, has a little bit more room. But again, for me, that sweet spot is that 18 to 20 liters. It's perfect for everything that you might need in your kit for an afternoon on the trail. If you do go up to that 32 liter, then you're gonna get a little bit more creature comforts. But again, we're not talking about overnight adventures. We're just talking about afternoon day hikes. Don't put a whole lot of energy and effort into making sure it's a super lightweight pack. At the end of the day, you want the fit to be good, and you want it to have all kinds of extra pockets and storage components for whatever extra goodies you want to bring along with you on that adventure. So when I built out this kit, what I focused on is 4 basic primary categories, which will cover your 10 essentials as a whole. I've got safety, sanitary, clothing, and nutrition. With those 4 basics, it's going to meet every category need you could possibly run into, again, on a day hike adventure. So don't be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff that I have here. Remember, this is our adventure kit. This is designed to get us from office to trail in the least amount of time and ensure that you have everything you could possibly need for that adventure. So I want to dig into each individual component. We're going to go through the gear, and then I'm going to show you how we pack it up and secure it in our bag. That way it's ready to go for us. So right off the bat, I want to talk about safety, because safety is the first and most important item you should always have in any backpack, depending on whether it's an hour hike or a multi-day hike. So what I have here for our safety items, I've got a little miniature first aid kit. You can go completely elaborate or very basic. I'm going to leave that up to you to determine what you need for your first aid kit. But what I found is one of these great little pocket kits. I threw in some extra band-aids, got some sutures, some little extra gizmos and gadgets that I might need along the trail. So in addition to a first aid kit, I also always make sure I have a headlamp with me and spare batteries for that headlamp. Yes, it's important to make sure it's charged before you head out there, but these things tend to live in our bags and we don't use them that often, and the batteries do wear out. If you're like me, you use your phone for everything. My phone is my primary navigator, and obviously I do all my filming on my phone, so I tend to use a lot of battery. I have made sure that I always have a 10,000 milliamp battery bank with me in my kit, fully charged and ready to go. And it is the same type of charger that my phone takes. That way, I only need to have one cord with me for every use. So in addition to that, in our first aid kit, I have an emergency poncho. These are fantastic if you get caught in a downpour and you're not prepared, or you have the unexpected overnight trip that wasn't planned. Inside my poncho, I've cut up some strips of Leuco tape. If you're unfamiliar with Leuco tape is basically what duct tape is to MacGyver for hikers. I spend a lot of time on the road and I never know where I'm going to be at. So I've got a very diversified kit depending on the region I might be traveling in. I also have a snake bite kit that I keep with me because I do get to eastern Washington quite often in the summer times, and I want to make sure I'm prepared in the event of an emergency for a snake bite. So that's here in my kit. Hopefully I'll never have to use it. I've also got some water filtration tablets because you might need to purify some water when you're out there if you can't get a good clean water source. Got a little mini Bic lighter because why not? You should always have a lighter with you. And a solid fuel tab. These things are great. The burn time is about 15 minutes. They'll light regardless of what the weather is like. It could be pouring down rain, it'll still ignite. I also have a little mini flint and steel just in case my lighter dies. A miniature Swiss Army knife. This is an awesome little thing. It just lives in the bag. You don't even know it's there, but if you need it, you've got it. This knife is actually about 40, maybe 45 years old. It was my grandmother's knife that is now mine. So a nice little addition to the kit. I also have some emergency. This is nice to add into your water. It gives you some extra vitamins and nutrients along the way. And because I tend to overeat, I've got some Pepto tablets also. Then, of course, I always have my emergency beacon with me, too. This is a new addition this year to my kit. It's something that I promised my wife I would always have with me, so it's here. I don't necessarily need it on every afternoon adventure, but it's nice to know I have it just in case. Then, of course, an inhaler. And I like to keep a nice pair of nitrile gloves on hand. These are just some simple latex-free gloves. And these aren't necessarily for me, but if I run into another hiker who's wounded and I might need to treat a wound, I don't want to deal with any bloodborne pathogens. So I keep a pair of nitriles in my safety kit. This all packs into this nice 1-gallon Ziploc bag. So I pack all that up into the Ziploc bag, and then it goes into a waterproof dry bag, which I love these things. I've got these for everything in my bags. They're certainly not weight saving, but they are so much easier to organize with. So once this is packed up, then the battery bank goes on top of it because I do tend to use that quite a bit. You press the air out, twist it shut, and then that's going to end up in our backpack at the very bottom of our backpack where it's completely out of the way. I should also add that I keep my compass and my map. I don't put it in my emergency kit. That actually goes in a inside pocket right at the top of the bag where it's easily accessible. Safety kit and our electronics are at the bottom of the bag. Then we're going to move on to our food bag because that's going to be the next thing. Our nutrition is going to fit right into the bottom of the bag also because we're not going to use it very much throughout the day. On the nutrition side, I want to make sure I've always got a nice bottle of water with me and a water filter. I've been carrying more and more often my Sawyer Squeeze. This is a great addition just to keep in your bag. It takes up very little space and it's nice to know you have it. On those other bigger adventures where I've got more luxury items, I tend to carry my Grail with me. But again, this lives in my adventure bag so that I know it's available if I need it. And then, of course, we've got a handful of protein bars and some liquid hydration tabs to add into our water, just to add a little bit more flavor. Now, in the event of an emergency and you find yourself trapped out overnight, I also keep a freeze-dried emergency meal with me. And this one has been in my kit for years. I think it's 2018 is the date on it. So one of these days I might have to try it. But it basically lives at the bottom of my dry bag also. Hopefully I'll never touch it, but it's there if I need it. My snacks go right on top. And then I also have 50 feet of micro cordage and a mini carabiner. And again, if you find yourself trapped out there overnight, you might need to hang your food if you're in the wrong area. So it's nice to keep as a bear hang. Pack all this up also. And it ends right up in the bag, just beside the safety kit. The water goes in our outside pocket. Our Sawyer Mini tucks into that upper pocket with the map and compass, just so it's out of the way, but easy in reach. Then I want to move on to our clothing items. So clothing is a little bit more of a special item for the weather and what the conditions are. But what I found is I want to keep extra gear in there. That way if I'm in office clothes when I want to go for a hike, I don't have to hike in dress shoes and dress socks. So I always keep an extra 2 pairs of socks with me, a pair of trail runners that live under the back seat, out of the way and you never know they're there. I've got my one-size-fits-all gloves, a beanie just in case of the elements, and then we get into our main clothing. And again, just in case I'm in office attire and I want to change, I've got a pair of lightweight hiking pants. I've got a lightweight base layer, a midweight jacket, and then a pair of rain pants. Now, in the last 2 years, I've used these one time, but it was really nice to have them there. Now, being Western Washington, you never know what the weather is going to be like. So it is an absolute must to always have a raincoat with you also. You never know what the weather is going to do. It can change from 60 degrees to 20 degrees, beautiful sunny day, or pouring down rain, all in a matter of minutes here in the Northwest. So preparation is key. But all of these items live also in a dry bag. So I keep the rain pants in the very bottom, again, because I'm probably never going to use those. Then I toss in my mid layer, my base layer, my hiking pants, my beanie and my gloves, and my spare socks. The beauty of these bags is they pack down nice and tight and then toss it into our backpack as well. The raincoat is going to live at the very top of the bag, or if we've used it, it'll go in the outside stretchy pocket. The shoes are obviously going to be on your feet. That brings us to our sanitary kit. This is something that you're going to use far more often than you realize. I want to make sure you have a trowel, some baby wipes. I always carry an extra paper towels with me. I've got some sheets of soap, hand sanitizer, individual wipes. This is an expandable towel. These are fun things. You get a little drop of water on them and it turns into a full-size sheet towel. And then of course a bar of soap as well. All of this fits down into another Ziploc bag. Then of course we have a spare Ziploc, and that's if you have to pack out anything. You don't want it to contaminate your other products. But this lives right here in the outer pocket, easily accessible without having to move any of your other gear. Our hand sanitizer is going to go right beside it. Now the final couple of pieces that I like to make sure are packed on the outside of the bag are the ones that we're going to need to reach in an emergency or more conveniently. And that's going to be our headlamp, goes right in the top pocket so that we know it's always there, along with the inhaler and the emergency beacon. One creature comfort that I always make sure I have is a bandana. These things are awesome for cleaning up, rinsing yourself off. You can tie it around your neck if you're getting sweaty. Just a great tool to have. It goes right in the outside pocket. And the raincoat goes right on top. And simple as that, folks, we have a lightweight adventure kit packed and ready to go. Well, folks, I hope this gave you some inspiration or ideas on how to build out your own adventure kit. That way, the next time you've got that impromptu or unplanned hike, you're ready to go and you don't have to postpone it for another day. Just remember, at the end of the day, folks, our goal is to get out there on the trail, have an adventure, and enjoy this beautiful world all around us. So until next time, folks, I hope to see you out there on the trail soon. Let's go for a walk.